Walter. Welcome.
Hi. Yeah, I have this question in my mind. Sri Ramana says that self-inquiry is only for very advanced souls. And somehow my mind, I'm afraid not to fall in this trap of the mind, that in one hand it says, who knows, maybe you are not so developed at this thing. In other hand, I feel attracted. You see, I'm coming to Satsang, I read or whatever. I choose Ramana to be my guru. And I don't know what I did this. Maybe it's because of the ego. It's like driving a Rolls Royce. Ramana is the Rolls Royce of the spirituality. And maybe because of that, I choose, so I'm kind of confused. I don't really know if this is my path. Sometimes, yeah, these doubts are coming sometimes. And yeah, as I said, it's making like a confusion sometimes. Sometimes it's clear, but sometimes this come to your mind, come on, you are not with Ramana. What kind of self-inquiry? You have any results? The mind is coming with the... So it's like a trap, and I try to avoid this trap. What is your take on this? Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you. It's a really good question, because this will affect everyone probably at some point, if not more than at some point. This is the way the mind works. It doesn't matter how busy your mind is or how sinful a person you are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your mind is super neurotic and disturbed, and if you're a very, very bad person karmically, you've done horrible things or not. If you have heard of self-inquiry, if you have heard of Bhagavan, if you are somehow attracted to him or his teachings or self-inquiry, then know there is something there for you. This is what I will say. And Walter, I'm sure that I could ask you to answer your own question, and you will know that that is the path for you. The mind wavers and vacillates, chops and changes. This is the nature of the mind. It's fickle. The mind is incredibly fickle. It thinks one thing one day, and then another day thinks some totally different thing, each with the same amount of conviction. We have to discover that which is beyond the mind, which isn't fickle. It's steady. It's our eternal refuge. It's the only place of refuge that actually works. There are many other refuges, but they're all built on sand. Eventually, ultimately, they all come and go. There's only one refuge that is eternal. That is that place, the self. I am Bhagavan, God, Christ within. It's the only way. This is why in the text, Who Am I? That Bhagavan wrote, he says, it doesn't matter if all these doubts come. Let all the doubts come. But when these doubts come, to whom do they come? To me. Who am I? And you go back to yourself. There's the deeper part of you already knows the truth fully. The intuitive part of you knows you're not a body-mind already. You know you're formless. You know you're eternal being already. This knowledge, as I said, you cannot get rid of it. You're stuck with it because it's what you are. This knowledge is not in the mind. The mind doesn't have this knowledge. Never. Even if the mind has the idea, I'm eternal being, I'm divine, it never has this knowledge in its true form. But intuitively, it's always there within you. Again, people might say, how do I get this intuitive knowledge? I can't explain it to you. It is this inner knowing of what you are. And sometimes hearing the teaching can somehow stir this feeling inside of you. It might feel like the feeling is coming through your body, through your mind, but it's actually beyond that. When you feel it's coming through your body mind, and that I, the body mind, am divine, then there's distortion there, but that's okay. This is how we start on the spiritual path. And as we stay with that feeling more and more, we discover that we are not the body mind. So spirituality is initially I, the body mind. All the teachings distorted through this idea, I'm the body mind, I'm a person. So you are fit for inquiry, but it's not always easy. And this is why we need other things often. If it's easy for you, then you don't need the other things, you know? Then you don't need an external teacher. You don't need to come to satsang. You don't need to meditate. You don't need to calm the mind. But for most of us, because self-inquiry doesn't come easily, because our minds are busy and full of doubts. And I should add here, and hopefully this is reassuring. It might not be reassuring. I hope this is reassuring. I should add that the doubts and the uncertainty of the teaching, often these will keep on arising right until the moment before realization. Not always. Some people have a deep, deep faith, and they know that they're on the right path. But for others, this kind of uncertainty and feeling of failure and not able to progress on the spiritual path will keep on being there right up until the very millisecond before liberation. Because this is the nature of ignorance. Ignorance makes you feel like, I'm not there yet. I can't do this. How am I ever going to become liberated? It can often be like that. That should encourage you. It should encourage you not to be discouraged by these kinds of doubts and this kind of sense. It's because we listen to the mind that we need all these other things. For most people, you need to come to satsang regularly. You need to pray, have devotion, have love in your heart, open your heart up. Whatever other spiritual practice you need to do these things to the best of your ability. Again, many of us will not be able to do these with consistency and regularity, and that's okay. God doesn't ask that we are perfect. He just asks, or she just asks, that we do it as much as we're able to. That's all we need to do. But we should devote ourselves. Again, when we remember to, as much as we're able to. That's all you need to do. Let go, devote yourself to him. And if you don't like the word him, then use your own words. Use her, it, that, whatever.